I can't believe I've been making videos for 6 months. There's a lot of things that I learned when making these videos. I've been posting them onto YouTube, and I've also been clipping them out and putting them onto TikTok. And here's everything that I've learned throughout the last 6 months. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Ali. I'm a certified financial planner based out of Toronto, and I make financial videos so that I can post them onto YouTube and clip them out and also put them onto TikTok. And there's a lot of things that I learned over the last 6 months. I'm gonna show you guys everything that I've learned and some things to consider if you're looking to start making some content yourself. And when you're building out your channel, there's definitely a lot of things to consider, a lot of things that I never considered. So let's get right into it. Now, when I first started making videos, I knew exactly why I wanted to make the videos, and it's one of those things I had a lot of fun doing it. Now, I still have fun making these videos, but I have to say, it's definitely a lot different than I expected it to be 6 months later. The very first thing that I have to say is if you don't have a reason for why you're making the videos, if you don't know your why as to why you're making these videos, then this is going to be something that's going to be a little bit harder to continue on with. Consistency is one of the biggest things that I've learned is the most important out of anything when making these videos. That's how I've been able to build a little bit of traction. Every single month I've been getting better and better. And it's one of those things that consistency is key, and especially when you're not feeling it, when you're not really in the best mood. If you don't remember why you're making these videos to begin with, it makes it a lot harder for you to actually continue, get yourself up and make that content. You always have to keep in mind as to why you're making the videos. My why for why I wanted to make these videos is because I wanted to make sure that Canadians had financial content that they could relate to. As a financial planner, I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to personal finance in the Canadian system. So I wanted to make videos so that I could spread my knowledge on those things. So that will include things like retirement planning, estate planning, even if it's just something as simple as planning out your day-to-day, whether it's budgeting or debt management or anything like that. Because ultimately what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a platform where people could learn all of these things instead of having to worry about paying somebody to tell them how to do all of these things. So that is my why, and that is what keeps me going. So if you're going to start building out a channel, if you want to start making content, you really have to remember why you're doing all of this, because that will help you continue along the way, especially in those times where you don't feel like doing these videos. Another thing that's important, and this is something that I picked up on relatively quickly, is you actually have a lot more tools than you think you do. Everybody thinks they have to have the greatest production. At the end of the day, you don't need to have the perfect video. I've had some videos where I was very, very proud of. I thought it was a very good video. I go and I posted it, it didn't do as well as I thought. So not all good videos do well, and not all bad videos do bad. I've posted some videos where I'm like, I don't really know how I feel about this. And guess what? It actually did better than some of those videos that I thought were going to do well, but didn't. So this is really where consistency, even if you don't feel like it's the best work that you've done, then that's okay. Just keep putting them together, and it's one of those things you learn as you go. In terms of the tools that I'm talking about, so TikTok as well as YouTube has an analytics tool. This is really where it shows you not only the number of likes and the views and comments that you've received, but it also tells you how long people watched. It tells you what the average click rate is. So at least on YouTube, let's say for example, your video was shown to 1,000 different people, but only 20 people clicked on it, then you'll see that there was a 2% click-through rate. So these are all things that are important, and you have to understand that when it comes to YouTube, it's very different than TikTok, but the nice thing is they both have their analytics to really help you understand what's doing well and what's not doing well. Another thing that's also really nice with these platforms as well is they give you the different things that are trending right now, so things that people are watching. So whether you decide that you want to make content that is a little bit more on the trendy side or something that more and more people are watching, you at least have those there that you could look up and you could come up with ideas that way. Another thing as well, and this is something that I really like about YouTube. So YouTube actually has an ideas tab or a brainstorming page in which you can actually look up different topics in which you're interested in, or you think your audience is interested in, and you can actually see how much that particular topic is searched for. So this will really help you understand whether or not it's worth your time to actually create one of these videos, because at the end of the day, if you know that it's a topic that a lot of people are searching for, and either there's a little bit of a gap where there aren't too many videos talking about it, it makes it a lot easier to know that that is something that is being searched for. So then when you go to put that video together, the understanding is you will probably receive more views on that video because the topic is more searched for than potentially a different topic that you were considering of making a video about. One of the things that I also learned in these last 6 months is it's very important to change up the different styles, the different topics that you talk about, but also play around a little bit with your editing, with your lighting, with your vocal. It's very important to really understand all of these different things, because when people watch your videos, you want to make sure it's as engaging as possible. And when you play around with these different styles, and this includes the thumbnails as well for YouTube, if you're creating your thumbnail, you want to play around with the different designs and different styles and see what works and see what doesn't. And then that way, when you actually post these videos, not only are you expanding on your skills and you're learning about that, you're also trying to attract different audiences, because there's different people will like different things. So when you try all of these different styles, one, of course, you'll figure out what style works best for you and your content. But also, the other thing is you also want to understand what is best for your audience as well. So some people, they like certain styles. So maybe one video, if you try one style, you'll attract one audience. If you try a different style with a different video, then you'll attract a different audience. And ultimately what that will do is that will lead to more exposure to your channel and more exposure to your videos, and ultimately end up leading you down this path where you will eventually find your footing in the content creation space. Now, with all this being said, over the last 6 months, there's a lot of things that I've actually picked up on myself that I still need to work on. The very first thing is presentation styles. For me, when it comes to financial content, there's only so much that I can do when it comes to how I present the information. But the one thing that I learned is, depending on the way that I present the information, the way that I edit my videos to present that information, it can really change the way that people see the content. So for me, I'm still playing around with a lot of the different editing styles and trying to figure out how to integrate and make the financial topics a little bit more interesting rather than just me talking to the camera. Now, this is something that's going to take a little bit of time. I've dabbled a little bit with playing around with the different styles, trying to add some visuals and everything like that, but that's still something that I need to work on. Another thing that I noticed when I was in the last 6 months when I've been making these videos, depending on what I'm talking about, sometimes my articulation with these topics is not the greatest. And sometimes you don't see it when you actually watch the videos, but when I'm editing the videos, I can tell you that there's a lot of times where I watch myself and I'm not only stumbling on certain words, but I'll use a lot of filler words like and 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 just trying to find the proper wording for when I'm talking about these things. So one of the things that I'm trying to do, and it's something that I'm working on to get better at, is articulating what I'm trying to say in a way where I don't have to use a lot of filler words, and everything that I'm trying to say can come out super smoothly without any hesitations, without any stuttering. And then that way, when you actually watch these videos, it comes out a little bit more smoothly and it's a lot more enjoyable to watch rather than having some cuts along the way as I'm editing the videos. Now, the very last thing that I wanted to mention is I'm very happy that I actually started making these videos 6 months ago. It's something that I wanted to do for a very long time. And now that I'm making it, even though yes, sometimes it can be a lot of work, especially in the background, recording the video is one thing, but ultimately editing and working on all the visuals and everything in the background, it does take a lot of time. So balancing this with all of the work that I have to do on a regular basis for my day-to-day job is something that is a little bit hard to balance. But I'm very thankful that I'm doing this, because this is something that I've always wanted to do. And if this is something that you want to do, if you want to make content yourself, the best thing for you to do is just start. It doesn't have to be pretty at the beginning, and it doesn't have to be good at the beginning. Just make the content, post it, and then you learn from there. If that's something that you really want to do, just push yourself. Push yourself to do it, and you can do it. You'll be surprised at what you can do in such a short amount of time. So there you have it, guys. That is the last 6 months and some of the tips and tricks that I have for you guys, some things to consider, but also some things that I want to work on for myself over the next 6 months or so. If you like this video, please leave a like, and also if you have any questions, please leave those in the comments below. If you are starting out your channel, please comment down below. I'd love to see that content. Just let me know what kind of content you're making, and I'll make sure to support you along your way as well. If you learned anything from this video, please share it with your friends and family. At the end of the day, if you learned something from this, I'm sure they'll learn something from this too. And it also allows me to continue to make these videos, to make this content readily available to people like yourself. As always, guys, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you guys in the next one.